NBA contender tiers. We're going to be naming our top 5 teams in each conference that we feel is most likely to win an NBA championship. And we're going to start out wonky. We're going to start out wild because I think the East is very cut and dry. The Western Conference, we're going to get a lot of different answers. And I'm curious to see all these different answers. Jack, I'm going to start with you. Who are your top 5 teams in the West? Let's start from 5 to 1.
Dude, the West is weird. When I sat down to look at this, I'm like Nuggets and Suns, easy top 2 for me, just in terms of like at least winning the conference. I don't know about winning the championship, but then you get down to like the next 3. I believe in the Kings. I really do. Watching them in the clutch, their offense is, I mean, De'Aaron Fox, that stupid little free throw line jumper, bro.
It's automatic.
Like, he's different.
Yeah, he's nasty. I think I'm torn between Kings and Grizzlies for my number 3. And then at number 5, I do have the Lakers. They remind me of the Warriors of a little bit last season, how everything's kind of coming together at the right time.
Jack, spin that list one more time. Just run it off real quick.
Nuggets, Suns, Grizzlies, Kings, Lakers.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
You're missing his pride and joy. That's why.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What the fuck is going on?
What do you want from me?
But have your fun.
I'm just saying. I think the Warriors, bro.
I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna just tell you this, Jack. Andrew Wiggins has been practicing. He's been shooting around.
You really think they could? You really think they could start winning games on the road like that?
We won 2. The last road trip. We won 2 in a row.
What are you up to?
Yo,
9
wins. Exactly. They don't even have double digits. They don't have double digits.
The Grizzlies have like 14. That shit ain't like, what are we doing?
Man,
we're 32-7 at home.
Yeah,
you're not playing at home that much in the playoffs.
Hey,
I mean,
all we gotta do is sneak one road
don't
win.
Get me wrong. I'm not saying it's impossible. Steph Curry is Steph Curry. Andrew Wiggins is clearly a huge difference maker.
He's a genius.
And Anthony Davis has been balling. I don't know how much I believe in that durability.
He rolled his ankle the other day. I thought the season was over.
I was like, it's cooked. It's done. And he got
what are you laughing about? Through. Joel, what's funny about that?
I'm just saying,
Grow up. Are you hoping for injury right now? No, I don't hope anyone gets injured. But I'm just saying, like, the playoffs are physical, bro. Like, they really start letting calls go and stuff. I don't
Think about the last time we saw AD in the playoffs. Think about it.
That was so long ago.
I don't remember it. It was a minute ago, bro.
Oh, he got hurt. We act like 2021 was so long ago.
Oh, man. I mean,
my son was 1, Drew. He's about to be 4.
RJ.
He's about to be 4.
Good for him.
That was a minute ago, bro.
Oh, man.
That is a little while ago.
So if you were to pick a wild card, Jack, who would be your wild card, the 6th spot?
6th spot? Probably the Warriors, I'd say. I'll give the Warriors.
It's got to
be.
The Grizzlies. They're not the top 5.
We're the Grizzlies.
He said the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies.
Grizzlies are like my 3rd or 4th team. Once, I mean, if Ja Morant is 100% in the mix, I back on the Grizzlies train. Like, I get that all the drama kind of made people fall off with them, but they're a really good basketball team. Once you don't have Dylan Brooks as your like 2nd leading scorer, shit can change pretty quick.
Rev.
Would you like me to go second, or you want Rev to go because he disrespected the Warriors?
I want Rev to go because obviously he's gonna have the Warriors in his top 5, and I don't think that's a bad take at all. But he shitted on Jack's list a little bit, so I'm curious to see if he even has the Kings in his top 5 because I have a feeling it's not gonna be there.
Yeah. I don't have like an order. I just have 5 teams.
My goodness, bro.
Denver.
I'll tell you what, I took a similar approach because I don't want to rank these guys.
It depends on seeding, who plays who. I don't want to get into that. But Denver, Phoenix, I think are pretty obvious. I had the Lakers, I had the Warriors. I did have those 2 up there. And number 5, it was like a 50-50 between the Kings and the Grizzlies. It was a legit 50-50. Wow. One high-powered offense, no defense. Another high-powered defense, half-court offense stinks. It was like a tale of 2 halves. The Grizzlies and the Kings.
Yeah, it's been better.
It's like a tale of 2 halves. I would probably lean the offense, so I might say the Kings. But the Grizzlies, they have the experience a little bit. They've been in the playoffs. So
the Grizzlies' half-court offense in March is ranked like 15th. It's still average.
Yeah, yep. That's 1 month, but all the shit teams don't play hard. But those are my 2 teams at 5 because those 2 teams are such like wild cards in the sense like the Kings offensively is one of the best units probably in NBA history. But are you going to get that same high-powered offense in the playoffs? You know, playoffs are a little different. With the Grizzlies, can they fix up their half-court offense? Do they have enough shooting? Defensively, we know they're great. But when Jaren Jackson gets into foul trouble, what happens? Is Steven Adams going to be back? You know, that's always a tricky
That's a
situation.
huge question because I mean, like,
I'll probably put those
no
two.
Clark or Adams. That's not ideal.
Yeah, I'll put those two teams over the Warriors just for the simple fact they don't have Andrew Wiggins. They still struggle on the road. You know, so that's something you got to look for. The Lakers, they just have to be healthy. If they're healthy, that's a team that can be scary. Defensively, they are really good. Offensively, they have the firepower. And then Denver and Phoenix, I think, are the clear-cut top teams in the West. Denver's been the best team in the league in the West all year. Phoenix, you have Kevin Durant, you have Devin Booker. I feel like Okogie, Chris Paul, Ayton should be fine. You have two high-powered offense,
bro.
Yeah, you have two high-powered guys. And then my wild card would probably be the Clippers if I had to pick a wild card.
I was close on them. Yeah.
If Paul George, they looked good until Paul George went down. They looked like they finally figured it out. So if Paul George come back, if Kawhi gets them out the first round, that's one team that could be my wild card. So those are my teams.
I saw John getting giddy when Rich started talking about the Grizzlies. So go ahead, bud. I'll pass it to you.
Yes, guys, he's ready.
My top 5, with an honorable mention of the Lakers at 6, would have the Kings at 5.
I let this guy go first. Like
that.
My goodness, you're the third seed, John, at 5.
I do have them at 5, but I think it's very close between them and my Dubs. Not my Dubs, I'm playing the Dubs at 4. But I do think the Warriors are the highest ceiling of any team in this group. We saw it last year when Andrew Wiggins is on the floor. The Warriors, the best 5-man lineup in the NBA, and I think he is just the missing piece of Gary Payton returning.
Their bench would still stink, though.
Dante DiVincenzo, yeah, I think he's been good enough. So I think they'd have 6 guys, 7 guys that they could work with. At number 3, I have the Grizzlies. At 2, I have the Suns. And at 1, I have the Denver Nuggets.
Damn, no Kings.
Save.
Kings at 5.
My Kings are at 5. Come on, Dehls. You got AirPods and you're not listening.
My team in this mix is the Memphis Grizzlies. I think everybody's written off Memphis in spite of John Moran being a playoff superstar, their defense being top 5, them having one of the better coaches, and also Luke Kennard coming in. He's been an absolute laser from deep. Having a shooter on the floor at all times really does make a difference for a team that last year not only was missing John Morant for half of that Warriors series, which they took the 6 games, but also was having Desmond Bane play through a back injury, and he wasn't quite the same player. So I think adding Luke Kennard off the bench really could be a difference maker, given how badly they needed that extra shooting offensively in the half court.
Doesn't worry.
He's hard to John. You know he's hard to play in playoffs. He can't defend.
That's why it helps having Jaren Jackson and Xavier Tillman.
I don't know.
That's why when we're.
Are you counting on Xavier Tillman to get a lot of playoff minutes?
Tillman's good.
I'm not. I think
he is.
Steven Adams
solid,
could be out for.
I know he's a good player, but I mean the playoffs are different.
He might have to if Adams isn't going to play.
Because Adams got a stem cell injection, and seems like he hasn't been recovering well. He is huge on both ends of the floor, and his field, John Morant, they're a +10 when he's on the floor. So I think that's a huge loss, that 20 minutes per game in the role he could play guarding a Jokic. But the reality with Memphis is no rim protector wants to deal with John Morant because the amount of pressure he puts on the rim with the 2 shooters opens up a lot for them. They currently rank this year 22nd in half-court offense. And we've seen offenses in the past. Drew's laughing. You're a LeBron guy.
No, I'm not laughing. I apologize. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at the comments. I'm laughing at the comments because someone called me an idiot for telling him to watch Laker games. I apologize.
Okay. LeBron in 07 made the NBA Finals with the 25th ranked half-court offense. They went against San Antonio and got swept. The Detroit
07. Think about that team you're talking about.
Yeah, the Pistons went to the finals in back-to-back seasons. The first year of which they had an above-average half-court offense at like right around 12 or 13. The second of which they lost in 7 games. They were 24th in half-court offense. The most recent poor half-court offense we've seen, they have LeBron James go to the finals, was the Lakers in 2020 when they ranked 16th. Obviously, that team had more than enough defensively. The common denominator in all those teams is defensively, they're on one, and they had a superstar.
And LeBron James. Facts.
Well, the Pistons,
Jack, you were going to say something?
Superstar, but they were just one of the most well-built teams we've seen recently.
But that's one of the best defensive teams we've seen in NBA history. That's not the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
John, a lot of those stats you just rattled off to me basically made me very confident that the Grizzlies are not making the finals.
The Grizzlies aren't making the finals.
They're not.
But that can be respectful. That can be respectful. The Grizzlies are still – listen, I have the Grizzlies in my personal top 5.
They sleeping, John. I'm with you.
They're a solid team. They are a really good team. Defensively, they're one of the best defenses in the West. You could say that your concern is offense for sure, but one thing that I do give credit to is when Ja went down, they needed someone to step up, and that was Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson has done, of course, but I'm saying in terms of who needed to take a true jump in the offense, who needed to really assert themselves. Tyus Jones, absolutely one of the most underrated basketball players in the association. I'm with you, Riv. But Jaren Jackson, when you and I talk about the Grizzlies, Riv, who's their number 2 scoring option? We always say it's Desmond Bane. Yeah. You have Ja Morant, you have Desmond Bane. And I was looking for Desmond to really assert himself to be that number 1, when in reality, it was Jaren Jackson. And with Ja missing time, now Jaren has this confidence where now it's not just the two-headed dragon of Ja Morant, Desmond Bane who are on the offensive side. Now you have to start catering to Jaren Jackson and understand, hey, this guy's a threat. And now Jaren's confident in his mind, hey, I'm not someone that can just sit in the corner, wait for my shot, wait for Ja Morant to kick it out to me. I'm not just this regular post player. I'm not just this guy that's going to be big down low. No, I actually can do something and contribute to the offense on this team. So you have one of the best defenses. And now with Jaren Jackson in the mix, you have 3 guys that could score the ball at a high level. I definitely am not going to sleep on the Memphis Grizzlies.
I don't know. I think Ja Morant can score the ball at a high level. In a playoff series, consistently, I don't trust Desmond Bane enough for Jaren Jackson enough to say there are high-level playoff scorers.
Respect Desmond Bane.
To call them high-level playoff scorers, I just don't think that's.
I didn't say that. I said that they're high-level scorers.
Yeah, but
Jaren
Jackson
is a high-level scorer.
Well, Jaren Jackson, when Ja Morant's absence,
high level
had showed flashes. Correct. I guess if we want to do semantics, he showed that he could be a very solid scoring option for them, no doubt about it.
I just think he's 20
in every single game. Jaren Jackson's all right. He's shown to be all right. So I can understand where
he's all right.
I don't disagree. Elite. I'll say this again: with Ja Morant gone, Jaren stepped up to the plate.
So I understand what you're saying.
Drew, what's your list again?
Yeah, so I want to hear it.
I gave my list. So these are my 5 teams. I don't have them ranked because you understand where I'm going to go. So I'm going to take bias aside. So of my 5 teams, I have the Nuggets. I have a healthy Suns. They need Kevin Durant to be a contender. Without Kevin Durant, this is not a contender to me. But of course, with Kevin Durant, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's definitely a contender. I have the Golden State Warriors out of respect for the fact that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, that trio, so long as they're together in the playoffs, they can make anything happen. The missing piece is Andrew Wiggins. That's another reason why I'm not higher on them. Without Wiggins, this isn't a team that I definitely see or am as confident as being a true contender. But I'm going to respect Steph Curry because he's earned that right, and I'm going to respect the counterparts of Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, of course. Number 4. I was torn on this one because, again, I just said that I have the Grizzlies in my 5, and I'm going to be honest, I lied to you guys. I apologize for that because you can't discredit the King.
Why the hell did you just go on his Grizzlies spiel?
Because I needed to show respect to the Grizzlies and understand that this West is still very good. And I would not be surprised in a first-round matchup to see to see the Memphis Grizzlies move on to the next round. They're a solid team, and they can beat one of these two, whether it's the Timberwolves, because I can promise you the Lakers, they're not going to be that playing team. We're going to lock that top 6. We're very grateful that the Clippers lost last night. It could be either the Timberwolves, potentially maybe the Pelicans. Who knows what happens there? But, hey, if the Clippers keep losing, the Clippers and the Grizzlies series, I feel a little bit more confident in the Grizzlies. They're a little bit more consistent. Of course, credit to Kawhi. I think that the Grizzlies are the more consistent team. So number 4, I do have the Sacramento Kings. Just too great of an offense. Just been too historic this season. I believe that this team can translate their offense to the playoffs. What does concern me is that defense. The defense is really, really bad. But when you have such a high potent offense, it could cancel out a really bad defense. And come home court advantage, Sacramento Kings have one of the best fan bases. And of course, number 5, Los Angeles Lakers. You knew I was going to say the Lakers. LeBron James has not been his true self since coming back, still getting acquainted to things. But Anthony Davis has been absolutely unbelievable. Since the trade deadline, we still have the best defense in the association. Vanderbilt has been sensational. Are we 2 now?
3rd.
Oh, so it's the Bucks, the Hornets, and us?
Wait, the Hornets are top 3?
The Hornets were very high at one point because Mark Williams has been unbelievable. You let me know. I thought last I checked, we were number one.
It's Mark Williams. It's also Dennis Smith Jr. His defense is ridiculous.
Facts.
So
they've been top 3 though, yeah.
But when AD, LeBron, and D'Angelo Russell are on the court, which has been limited, of course, we are undefeated. We do have the highest offensive rating, the highest defensive rating, the highest net rating. It's a small sample size, but it's to show you how dominant these 3 are together. D'Angelo Russell has been one of the prized possessions of the trade deadline, has been one of the most efficient players for the Lakers, shooting over 40% since being acquired. Vanderbilt has been a difference maker for the defensive culture that we want to bring to the court. People like to shit on Dennis Schroeder. I don't see it. I see what all he brings us is energy on both the offensive and the defensive side. Rui Hachimura last game against the Timberwolves did a great job in that second half of limiting Karl Anthony Towns. Something that people knocked him for was his defense. For me, all I've seen is the heart that he gives on the defensive side of the ball. He's done a great job for us. Of course, we've seen his minutes fluctuate because we just have such an onslaught of talent since the trade deadline. A beautiful luxury that I never thought that we'd have, to be honest with you. And the one thing that we do lack is that's a guy that he's too hot and cold for my liking. When he's on, he's on. Shout out to him. But when he's off, it's really hard to put him in the lineup. Troy Brown, that's another guy who's been a great role player for us. What we lack is size. Mo Bamba, I hate even having to do this because I hate when people say, hey, Mo Bamba's coming back. That's our answer. That is our answer, but it's unfortunate that has to be our answer. We do lack size. When the 3 biggest guys on the court are LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and a Rui Hachimura or a Vanderbilt, that's an issue for me. We do need another big man. But outside of that, our defense is phenomenal. And when you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, scoring should not be an issue. And the way that D'Angelo Russell's been playing basketball, we should be set. And I didn't even mention my boy Austin Reeves because I know you guys are tired of hearing about it.
Riv is flabbergasted.
Okay.
I didn't say anything wrong.
He just went on a whole spiel about the Lakers, man. I'm tired of hearing this.
It's a contenders. We're talking about contenders, right? So, of course, I'm going to explain why I have
20-second Suns, 20-second Nuggets, 20-second Kings.
You want to fill some airtime. Ask a Lakers fan about the Lakers. My God, bro, that was crazy.
Hey, it's not only that, Drew. It's the fact that you went on this whole spiel hyping up Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond, not to even have them in your top 5. Then you went on to talk about the Lakers for 20 minutes, and they're 5th. They're not even number 1.
Whoa, I don't have them 5th. I said this is not a in order because I'm trying to remove
it was last
bias.
but not least type of
These are exact. That's why I saved my Lakers for last because you knew that I was going to talk about them the most.
I like to go in order and not do this little.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
You ain't going in order.
You're Mister.
Give people an order.
That's for last.
So look, this is I'm
for last in this moment.
I'm gonna attempt to put a lasso on this Wild Wild West right here, and I'm gonna just say this: the Clippers, the Lakers, they're not in my top 5. They are not.
Watch
The Clippers. Injuries and I just don't trust the Clippers. I'm out on them.
Russell Westbrook.
The Lakers, Russell Westbrook problem. The Lakers, this is my issue with them. If this is any other team, we're talking about D'Lo not performing in the playoffs. We're talking about Malik Beasley's variance being a problem. We're talking about Jared Vanderbilt not being a playoff liability, which he probably will be.
Oh, now you're going to change sides on the Vandalorian.
Vando last year in the Grizzlies series.
That guy's a winner. That guy's a winner.
He is a winner. He is a winner.
Now he's a playoff liability.
He is a winner, but his lack of spacing is definitely a problem in the playoffs. And
he's been knocking down recently. Last couple games.
Yeah, I ain't gonna trust that. I know who Vando is, and he's an exceptional player in his role. But in the playoffs, players like him get played off the court because they provide no spacing. And LeBron, at this stage in his career, provides no spacing. AD provides no spacing. The lineups that you guys are gonna run out in the playoffs have no spacing. Even with this winning streak the Lakers have been on, they are still one of the worst half-court offenses in basketball, and that matters in the playoffs. And in this win streak, they've been average. So I'm out on them.